Good morning, everyone. I thought I'd come in here and try to give my 2 cents on the debates here. Morning, Rachel. Oh, thanks for the compliment there. Yeah, hopefully somebody will bring me to the attention of the president. So, because that would be great. I would love to get the whole Strong Fathers, Powerful Families movement going. But today, going to stay on task. All right. So my initial analysis of the vice presidential debates, I think Vice President Pence, hands down, clearly won this debate. There was no question about that. He answered everything smoothly, and you could really see in this debate why him and President Trump just make such an excellent team together. They almost remind me of like parents, a little bit, where, one, like they kind of like, I guess Pence kind of helps to soften Trump's image, and I don't know, Trump is just Trump. He's very, it's not to say that Pence isn't assertive. Pence actually was in the debates very assertive, but he has this calm demeanor that just, I don't know, like he's really, Pence excels at playing the politician game and being, that classical type of politician, the type that you're used to. And Kamala Harris was just completely outfoxed and outranked by Vice President Pence's just level of skill. Like he's a master at that game. I see here. I took some notes this time to help keep me on task. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, Vice President Pence, he was gracious, but then he was also assertive and forceful, but respectful and powerful. He was in control the whole time. The moderator, of course, they didn't ask Kamala Harris any of the real questions. So he was able to insert some real questions in there. And he also, Pence has this ability to, and many times he brought home the point that when the president wins, the people win. And that was excellent. That was very excellent. Pence, he's a storyteller. He is not like me in debates, where I guess I'm kind of used to like debating online, and where you'd kind of go through somebody's paragraph and then you'd like take each sentence and like refute this point, and you hit every single point. He doesn't do that. He has, he's a storyteller. He's telling a story. He's going to hit some points, but then he's going to, instead of just, getting into like the minutia of every little sentence that somebody said, there's a story he's going to tell, and he's going to make sure that he gets his whole story and his whole point across. And he did that time and time again, masterfully. It was actually kind of beautiful to watch. Oh yeah, he dropped some serious bombs on her too, but he's just so smooth about it. Like I couldn't have been that smooth. He shut her down hard on the swine flu when he talked about how we already know what a botched pandemic looks like because of Joe Biden and the Obama administration, what they did with the swine flu, and 60 million people caught it. And if it had been, as deadly as what we're dealing with, 2 million people would have died. The moderator didn't ask her about court packing. So he asked her about court packing, and she just sat there, looking like an idiot, refusing to answer the question. And so he went ahead and just answered it for her and said, no, they're not going to respect tradition, and they're going to pack the courts, which is just, awful, disgraceful, because it's not like Republicans haven't had the opportunity to pack the courts. It's just, we have something called, dignity and respect of tradition. So we don't do that. It's also cheating. Oh, like and who in the world wants to turn the Supreme Court into a thing where basically whoever is in charge then is going to have control of the Supreme Court? Because, all right, well, they'll make it 15 members, and then we'll make it 30, and then it'll be 50 and 100 and 1,000 and 10,000, and soon. Come on, like it's completely ridiculous. That's just not how you should handle something like that. Oh, and he shut her down really hard, really hard on the vaccine issue, pointing out that she's anti-science. And I am so sick and tired of them acting like, oh, well, we won't take Trump's vaccine. Why are they acting like President Trump is in a back room somewhere mixing up some vaccine? Like that's not how any of this works. He's not making the vaccine himself. And they're like, oh, well, the science. We'll trust the scientists. Those are the ones who are making the vaccine. Seriously, they are playing with people's lives. If you're someone who's going to take the vaccine, if you're somebody who believes in that, then they are, convincing people who would have taken it not to take it. And they're playing. They could be playing, if the vaccine works the way it's supposed to be, then they are absolutely playing with people's lives, and they could be costing people's lives by going against that. For me personally, I won't be taking any vaccines because I have a medical issue, so that concerns me. Like I'm not taking any vaccines for anything. It doesn't matter what it is. I know I'm getting off topic real quick, but I have Graves' disease, so that's an autoimmune disorder. But I guess I don't know if you'd call it like in remission, or it's not currently it's not like I don't have to take medication for it anymore, and I didn't have the radiation or the surgical procedure. I'm just like my system is fine right now, and what I don't want to do is take something with an adjuvant in it. And vaccines have adjuvants, and those are things that are designed to mess with your immune system. And I don't want now that my immune system is fine and my body is no longer attacking itself, I don't want anything that could cause that to flare back up. So I'm not taking anything, but that's just me personally. Everyone of course has to do what they want to do for their own best interests. I'm not anyway, yeah, I'm getting off topic. Sorry for both the notes. Sorry. Yeah. Hi, good morning, Randy and Finn Bear and Mr. Everyman and Sir Squash. Yeah, I'm not telling people to, to take or don't take vaccines. Sorry, notes, back on topic. Oh yeah, and then Kamala went in there with race baiting and playing the race card. That was really awful. Accusing or saying that, like they a couple times where she said that none of the judges that were appointed were black or something like that. I mean, come on, guys. Like I don't care about the color. I care about the best person for the job. If the best person for the job, that they determine is a white person, so be it. If it's a purple person, then so be it. Like, who cares? In 2020, who cares? Let's see. Oh, yeah, she brought up the Charlottesville lie. I mean, how many times do we have to shut that one down? He said there were very fine people on both sides, and then just ignore the fact a little bit after that, he said, I'm not talking about white supremacists and neo-Nazis because they should be condemned totally. My goodness. Just so sick of that. So sick of that. Let's see. Oh, and I was upset that the moderator didn't bring up Hunter Biden, when they were talking about China. Like, can we address that Hunter flew in to China with his dad on Air Force Two and then flew out with a contract for $1.5 billion? Can we talk about that? Oh, no, we can't talk about that. Nope. Disgraceful. Utterly disgraceful. I mean, they didn't bring up any of the issues or any of the topics that I would like. I would have liked to heard. I would have liked to have been addressed. How about let's talk about the racial jungle, for example, that Joe Biden didn't want his children growing up in. So, we're just going to act like Joe Biden didn't say that he didn't want his kids growing up around black people. I guess that's what we're doing. We're not going to address Joe Biden's giant role in as far as the mass incarceration of black men. We're not going to talk about him coming up with a 100-to-1 cocaine to crack rule. We're not going to talk about, the 94 Clinton crime bill that he largely authored when he was chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about 3 strikes. We're not going to talk about any of that. We're not going to talk about him fighting against integration. Not going to talk about that. He's called some Jews some horrible names. We're not going to talk about that. He referred to them as, I don't even know if I can say that, so I better not. But there's a bad name for Jews that starts with an S. And he's on tape saying that. There's just a whole there's a whole bunch of things. He's can't talk about any of that. So yeah, all right, I'm getting ready to wrap this up here, but my favorite part. Morning Duke and Patriot 101 and Ralph Riley. Oh, okay, yeah. Ralph Riley said we're not going to talk about Joe Biden publicly saying the N-word. Yeah, I am. I did tweet, or I retweeted the video of him doing that, and he was quoting someone when he said it, but I don't think that he needed to say. I mean, he could have edited that out. He could have just said N-word. He didn't have to. I guess he's used the N-word a total of 13 times, I think, in quotes. I think those were all like when he was in the Senate. But I mean, is that really necessary? I would say no. And if President Trump was on there doing the same thing, if he'd have been quoting someone using the N-word, even if it was just as a quote, it would be the end of the world and he's the biggest racist, and they would just play that again and again and again. Outside of any context, I just think that, just like I did right now or a couple minutes ago, where I didn't say the word that starts with an S that's, against Jewish people. Like, I could have said it, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could have, but I chose not to. I didn't want to say anything, that would, be that like inflammatory or whatever. He could have done the same thing, but he didn't because he wanted to say it. He did. All right. Good morning, Captain Sam and Duke Stockton. All right. Yeah. So I'm getting ready to wrap up here. Just going to come to the last question, which hands down, oh my goodness, Kamala Harris bombed the last question so badly. It was amazing. And Pence, he killed it. So the last question, it was asked by a little kid. The gist of the question was, when she turns on TV, like on the news, all she's seeing are, the adults fighting and nobody's getting along. And, if our leaders can't get along, how do we have hope for the future? And Pence came in with this great answer. He talked about the friendship that Ginsburg and I believe it was Scalia had, and how they were ideological enemies, but they were great friends, and they were able to talk about things and debate things calmly, and then come together later out of friendship and have dinner together and share their lives. And that's what we should be doing. and this is like what we're walking away from. I mean, this is like the end, like boom, grand finish, answered perfectly, beautiful. Kamala Harris, when we're talking, she's like, how can the kid wants to know how sorry, how can adults and stuff, how do we all get along? Kamala Harris comes in with a hardcore condemnation, like a low-key hardcore condemnation of Republicans. So her answer essentially was, we can't, I'm going to keep fighting. She did the whole, well, Joe Biden came in and he decided to run because he saw Charlottesville. So she's basically, saying, we had to run because, Republicans are terrible racist people. Like that's not what you were supposed to talk about. I mean, but I'm glad that she did. So she like, how do we come together? Oh, well, they're all racists, right? So vote for me. And you think that's how you answer that question? Oh my goodness. It was so bad. And then she was like, well, when we're in charge, we'll reach across the aisle, but we'll reach across the aisle, but we plan on having everything, and we'll just run we'll just get rid of fracking, and we'll pack the courts. And okay, I'm going she didn't exactly say that, but no, she had a horrible answer. Her answer was basically more division and more strife. So yeah, that was special. So all right, good morning, Real Red Pill Mom. And Real Red Pill 78 Mom. Okay. Well, anyway, I guess I gotta get going here. Thanks for dropping in the morning. This was just my quick little analysis of what's going on. I can't wait to hear what some of the other bigger folks think. See how I compared to them. I'm trying. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you later. Bye, Rachel.